feel like every time you make a little bit of progress in life, it just spears you in the face? This is the game for you. Hello, friends, and welcome to 10 Points Under. This is Big Bullfrog, and joining me today is good friend, both online and in real life, good guy who I've been able to meet and play with a lot. This is BodaciousBlood. Welcome back.
Hey, happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you. So, today we've got an awesome game. I actually special requested BodaciousSBlood to join me for this one because it's got one of his favorite units in the world in this game. It's got these Cathar Spearmen down here, and, you know, he loves them so much. It's tested our friendship many, many times, but it's okay. He'll enjoy talking about them more than I will, maybe. No, I mean, like, they're interesting. I'll have fun talking about them. I'll have fun not playing against them, but, you know.
Totally fun. They're fun on paper. They're fun to play with. They're fun to watch being played, not fun to play against, especially if you're a melee army like Vegies Dad today.
Yeah, exactly. So we do have Vegies Dad up here. His army is 5 squads of Dreadgul Raiders, C3V card. This is from the Online Con VC Bring 2 tournament where they were allowing C3V SOV customs to be used. Pretty cool tournament, pretty cool meta. There are some other videos from it already out, and you can check those. But, so we've got those 5 squads of Dreadgul Raiders. They bond with Pel the Hill Giant and Guilty McCreech. Pel the Hill Giant being one of the one of the coolest cards of C3V, where he's got 2 negative powers but ridiculous stats, and turns out good stats are good. But it's so nice army over here. Down here we've got 3 squads of those dreaded Cathar Spearmen, probably the most infamous card to come out of C3V. And if you don't know why, you'll see why in this game. But it'll be cool to see them in action. I am excited to see them in action, and I really am. I can't resist throwing shade their way. But with them is Rychean, another C3V creation who does order marker shenanigans, and Viceron, the Blood Knight and SOV submission that made it through. He's a Blood Knight who does big boof things. Like, he goes boof and people take damage, basically. I don't know. That's how I'm describing it today.
I got the visual. I think that makes sense.
Just think of blood and it goes boof.
Oof.
But yeah, so this will be a pretty fun matchup. Cathar Spearmen, I think we can/should say off the top, they're a pretty anti-melee army. They have a power where once you move next to them, they get a chance to spear you in the face. And so it'll be interesting to see. I think, like, probably the biggest talking point will be how Vegies Dad tries to play around that, because he does have a predominantly melee army. He bonds with Guilty, and I think that'll be pretty key into how the battle goes.
Absolutely. I think part of the infamy of the Cathar Spearmen is the meta before them was it's tough to run an all melee army in the current meta, and then the Cathar Spearmen were introduced and made it even harder to run an all melee army in a very competitive setting. Now we have awesome melee units featured in this battle with the Dreadgul Raiders. They're an awesome melee unit, and they outnumber the Cathar, so it'll be interesting to see if sheer numbers and good stats win.
Yeah, it'll be cool. And there's also a hero. Heroes are pretty good in being able to help. We'll probably get more into the minutiae of those specifics once the game gets underway. But there are definitely tools here, and so I do think Cathar are interesting to talk about. But yes, they are. I think you're exactly right. They are so punishing to melee that it becomes very, very, very difficult to run melee armies in a VC, like the VC Cheese tournament that they did way back when. I think Knights were the only other viable melee option, at least as far as pure melee goes.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so with that, we'll go ahead and get this game rocking and rolling. And we got superfrog coming hot. Oh, yeah, this is superfrog. I don't think I even said it was superfrog playing down here. Superfrog's playing Cathar. It looks like he's spreading out a bit, which is interesting to me.
Yeah, I'm super interested to see how these two armies will develop. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I totally get the going for Valda. I think because it looks like this guy's probably heading up to Wannock, which I think is just a little too far away to make it worth Superfrog's while, I think. Could be wrong. I often am, but I just see a lot of strength in just, like, building up a hedgehog right here.
Definitely.
Yeah, so Vegies Dad, with these Dreadgul Raiders, he does have a cool power in that he's got Berserker Charge from the Tarnviking Warriors on them. So, first he gets to bond with Pell or Guilty, and he gets to roll the d20 and see if he can move again. And I believe 15
You
is right
got
at
it.
the cutoff. Yeah.
Yeah. And does that mean he has to move those 3 again, or can he move much like a frenzy type ability where he can move any 3? I think it's just those 3.
Yeah, it is just those 3, which is a little sad, but also, makes sense for.
Makes a lot of sense.
They'd have to. They'd cost. Yeah, they just cost a little bit more if they could move any 3. But he did beat Superfrog to Valda, which is nice. Oh, and he got
Take
a
that.
19.
Oh my goodness, he's about to rush in on turn 1.
I know, that's awesome. Well, but so yeah, this one I think makes sense. That one I think is a good call because so there's the braced spear. That's 16 or higher, correct?
16 or higher, yeah.
Okay. Oof.
Ooh.
Man, just playing with. I almost would have not done that one just because this guy was already protecting the glyph from being attacked, and I wouldn't want. I guess Superfrog couldn't quite make it there anyway to attack the glyph, but I don't know. It's just always so risky to run in.
Yeah, it's so tough to justify a push like that on turn 1.
Yeah, turn 1 especially.
Because as soon as those 2 or those 3 die, I mean, they just have to bring up 3 more.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and he's got 12 different Cathar Spearmen within range of attacking them. So it's kind of a risky move, but I get it. Like, you got the momentum riding with those Berserker charges. You got to use them. They're Berserkers.
Mm-hmm.
They're Berserk.
Yeah, I mean, and so yeah, I do think it's the right call, just because I mean, you get a height attack, you're gonna be rolling for those, or you're gonna have to let Superfrog roll for those braced spears anyway. So
Yep.
I mean, just make it count while you can.
Exactly.
So another thing we'll be seeing here is that these 3, not that one though, actually, not that guy. Sorry, I'll X that guy out. But they do have okay, maybe not. Anyway, while Superfrog is messing with my drawings, they do have reach, so basically they get to attack from 2 spaces away, which is part of their power over melee because they don't have to engage with melee, and so when melee chooses to engage with them, they also get to roll for their braced spear to wound them. And yeah, so there's definitely a frustration factor there, to put it mildly.
Almost definitely.
Ooh, but nice block right there.
Yeah. I will say, Vegies Dad, with that charge, it did slow down Superfrog's slow roll. I know it's already slow, but it slowed it down even further because he forced him to take 3 low ground attacks rather than securing the 3 height spots on the road or moving further into the left part of the map.
Mm-hmm.
And we see him bringing out Guilty. I love to see it.
7 move right there. That is great. Yeah, like I said, Guilty will be great because he can dance away from. Let's see, with 7 range, if there's a hill in the way, he can keep the Cathar from even attacking back at him. Unfortunately for him, there is that one who can come.
Yeah. There we go. That's smart.
There you go. And so
there we go.
he just takes some shots, and basically he'll be saying, like you said, Cathar are already slow. They've got 4 move. And, now he can just pink at him. Boom.
Heyo. I like Guilty. I think he's a cool 30 points.
Mm-hmm. And he's so strong. Like, he's one of those guys who, he was already pretty good when he's just 30 points. Turn him into a bonding hero, and
oh yeah,
like he's crazy. He's he's like me Berksaw level in that the value that you get for just bonding with a 30-point figure is insane.
It's huge. Yeah. Can I just point out that Vegies Dad has rolled 3 successful Berserker charges?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Hey, Vegies Dad has rolled 3 successful berserker charges.
Holy cow, that is nuts. Oh, and that
with
is
with the move
nice.
glyph.
Yeah. And so now he's got these two engaged. Once a once a Cathar Spearman is engaged, it can't roll for a braced spear anymore until it is unengaged. And so, like, if you wanted to, I don't know why he's coming this way. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but I probably would have just moved this guy to here and then brought this one down to right there.
Maximize your. Oh well, they don't need the third guy anyway.
That's
it's
true.
cool.
That's true.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's next level precog strategy right there.
Oh man, how crazy would it be if there were a precog? Sorry, I don't want to get too off track, but like a precog, you roll your dice and then you get to move and attack if you wish.
Yeah.
That'd probably be like ridiculous.
Oh yeah, totally.
But it's fun to think
I
about.
could see like some sort of like I don't know, outsider figure that they're making doing that kind of stuff. Like messing with your brain kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whoa. This message has been sponsored by now back to our original Yes. Now back to our original programming.
So yeah, this is like simultaneously good and bad for both players, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree.
Because these kills are great. Being able to get attacks in this quickly is great for Vegies Dad. But also, Superfrog barely has to move in order to respond, which is good for him. And he's, I mean, like you said, his slow roll is being delayed a little bit, but it's also still a slow roll, and so I don't feel like he cares a ton about that.
The one thing he does care about is how many Cathar he's lost, and you know, to Vegies Dad's credit, he's played really well, made sure every roll counts, gotten so many berserker charges. It's been awesome. It's been a great start of his game.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, like that is a squad down. I thought it was 3 because of the screen, but yeah, that is 4 of them gone. So that's, I mean, this is turning into a close game.
And 3 blocks by Vegies Dad.
That is great.
So this is gonna. And if the Bray Spears keep not spearing faces, then this game could be quick.
Ooh. You know, it's a good question, Superfrog. Don't know if you can. Sorry, English teacher here. Gotta hone in on that. But yeah, this will be a really good turn. No. Vegies Dad, this is Bigga from the future. You gotta take your Pell and you gotta move him right here to engage these guys. And, you know, that way they, like, if they get Bray Spears, you're just taking wounds. And you're not losing figures as you move in more guys. Oh, nice. Okay, so maybe that's okay.
This is BodaciousBlood from the future. Guilty is crushing it.
Listen to Bodacious. He's got his precog power working.
Yeah.
So yeah, that actually worked out pretty well. Well, let's see. With that one still surviving, so one of the ways to fight against Cathar is if you've got bonding melee, use a hero to engage them, because like I said, once they're engaged, they can't roll for braced spear anymore. And
I agree with that.
You engage with a hero, and then you could like come here and here with
think
raiders.
Of that. Exactly, and think of that roadblock that Pell would create for the advancing Cathar. It would just make it a complete uphill battle for the Cathar.
One good attack right there, and then you'd have to like be coming right here, and that'd just be. And then you can like shoot with Guilty from behind that to even force that battle more.
Nice block from Rychean.
Oh, come on, Rychean.
Oh.
Temporal jump is, so that was against Rychean, right? So temporal jump, basically Rychean, he's a time mage, and he can, so that's why he gets to move order markers. Also when he gets attacked, he's got a D20. Nope, I wasn't there. Ability.
Yeah, I really like Rychean. I think he's an awesome figure. Probably one of the coolest and most intuitive figures.
Mm-hmm.
that's been developed and is such an awesome end game figure, just all around good.
Yeah, I don't.
What a round. Was that round 1?
Yeah. Holy
Holy
cow! Yeah,
cow.
that was.
Holy cow. A lot of stuff happened round 1.
Yeah, I didn't even. I thought this was at least round 2, but yeah, that was round 1 because of move glyph and lots of charges and guilty shooting stuff.
Yeah, wow.
So superfrog takes it. All Dreadguls, all Cathar. Um, I don't. What do you think about this going for Rygarn though?
I think it was an attempt to avoid braced spears and just kind of to muck up the start zone.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know. I feel like going for the Cathar is kind of number 1 priority.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, but you risk these 1 life figures getting smacked in the face with a spear. So I get the back and forth. That's kind of the fear that the Cathar bring to the table.
Right. Yeah, it's that psychological
Yeah,
damage that
and
they can just do.
here's something to point out. Had Pell moved into that 3 square spot right in front of that Dreadgul,
Mm-hmm.
this move from the Cathar would never happen.
Right.
He wouldn't want to engage 4 different Cathar right there because that's such an important part of this map, that little roadblock.
Mm-hmm.
And had Pell moved there, I mean, this round would have been completely different.
Yeah, it'd be so great for because, yeah, like you said, it'd be harder to push. And then you've got guilty shooting from behind, and yeah, I mean, like this is a newish map. I had never seen this map before until it. Well, no, I'd probably seen it, but I'd never actually played on it until it was announced for this event.
Hmm.
And I mean, like, yeah, this center area is so big. It's kind of like, you've got this center area, which is just like a huge thing. If you can control this, you control a lot of the game.
Yeah,
Not that it's like the only win condition, because you do have this staging ground over here and a staging ground over here to work with. But I mean, like, if you can control this, then you're probably in a good spot.
especially against slow melee.
Oh yeah.
And we just lost a squad of Dreadguls that otherwise may not have happened.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of high risk, high reward with the guilty play. Well, high risk and mediocre reward is what the outcome was.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I just think that, I mean, just one Pell move, just one Pell move. Hey, this is big from the future. Turns out I'm right. So
Hey, this is BodaciousBlood from the future apologizing to Biga from the future.
no, it's okay. It's okay. This is big. Apology accepted. It did look good. I was on board with you for a little bit, but then we watched more of the game. Ooh,
Interesting. I like
engaging
it.
guilty. Yeah, that is good, because then this guy can move right here and also
And
attack guilty.
pound him. Yeah,
Take out
I like
guilty,
it.
and you take out a huge piece of Vegies Dad's advantage.
And just like Romans me Berkshire, like you mentioned, I mean, guilty is such a key component against melee.
Mm-hmm.
So to lose him this turn would be pretty devastating.
Right. And this is also another thing you don't want is Pell being, focused down by ranged attacks, because the Cathar do get an additional attack die when they're ranged as well. I mean, they're just nuts. They're just so anti melee.
Right.
But
And the thing with Pell is he has that lazy negative ability where he
mm-hmm.
can't move if he's engaged, and he can't give leaving engagement attacks against medium squad figures, or maybe it's just medium figures in general. But you want to control where Pell ends up, right? Because he's going to have to sit there and smack down on somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and so when you allow your opponent to engage Pell, especially Cathar, who can attack him from range,
Right.
I mean, you're giving them a significant advantage. But had he went and chosen where to go, where to set up shop and just smack around, then it would have been a much more convenient thing for Vegies Dad. And now we've got Guilty gone. It's looking tough. Can't do that.
Oh yeah, looks like he wasn't aware of that. Or I do think Veggie's dad is a little bit less used to some of this VC stuff, so that could explain some of that
Got it.
decision making there. But yeah, I mean, like that's just that is a huge power to keep track of because Pell, he's still good. He's still throwing 6 dice there, right?
Oh
But
yeah.
Superfrog can still just be like, okay, we're just gonna like control where Pell is now. Fortunately, he did get that kill, and so now there's a raider coming up this way. But yeah,
Wow. Not a single brace spear this game. That's truly a game changer for the Cathar.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like they've still been doing really well, I think. But I mean, just missing those braced spears. If he gets like, I don't know, I guess it's like what, a quarter of them on average with 16 or higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very different game if he averages out on that.
Oof. All whiffs.
Yikes.
This is a great thing about Heroscape is it's a game of runs. It's just it flips back and forth between who's going to win, who's going to lose in most cases, and
Mm-hmm.
right now, in round 1 it was significantly in Veggie's Dad's favor, and now it's looking like, well, Cathar have got the center of the board, taking out Guilty. They're being more consistent with their dice, and
Mm-hmm.
it's looking like a swing is in the midst.
Yeah, like I mean, like Vegies Dad does still have some good positioning with these two guys on high ground. He's got one more turn to get him off or to just make the high ground count while he's got it. But I mean, yeah, these Cathar are just so good against him. You've got a hide attack coming down from here. And again, like the simultaneously good and bad aspect of getting so many charges is that he's still got a lot of Dreadguls in his start zone and he hasn't had a chance to move them.
Right.
But I mean, it does hurt. Fortunately, he still does have the move glyph, so it's gonna help a little bit. But if these Cathar take the high ground while they're still trapped back here, then it's a very ugly game for Veggie's dad.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Nice
3
hit on.
on.
Whoa.
Yikes.
Now, wow, that's a big one. Makes you think, and does he want to rush in there to face the spears with only 2 lives left?
Right. So you could try just taking the 3 of them. Those could be the 3 that go through,
Yeah, serious.
Hasn't hit any yet, but he could hit all 3 right there. So I also kind of wonder maybe he comes right here to get an attack down.
He could also circle around to the 3 on the other side by going up on the height with the move glyph and just take 2 of them. But one of them's already engaged, so he's good actually by going there. It'd be the same thing. No hits, not a single braced spear. That's crazy.
Wow. That's nice. So it turns out if Cathar Spearmen aren't rolling their braced spears, they're almost bearable to play against.
Turns out. As a fast
No, I will
moving.
never stop bragging on Cathar Spearmen.
Staying on height on round 3. I like it. That's a big move.
Yeah, I think it's the right call because the 4 dice, 4v4, turning it from a 3v4 to a 4v4 is big. Unfortunately, didn't work there, but I mean, I'd take those chances at a trade.
Yeah, definitely.
50% chance that my guy dies. I'm okay with that against Cathar Spearmen.
Absolutely.
And he lives. All right, so that was round 2.
Heading into round 3. Let's see. This run. It's tough to put heroes with the Cathar, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is a bring 2, so it makes sense. But I feel like adding Rychean to the mix was kind of a cool idea because sometimes the Cathar feel a little order marker intensive, and so having a really strong hero like Visceron just kind of falls by the wayside a lot. And so I hope to see some cool switches once things get a little dicey for the Cathar.
Yeah, hopefully we can do that, because that can be huge. Like, I mean, could have been huge in this game where so many charges were happening. You could maybe see an order marker on. I guess you'd have to have a lot of Dreadguls in the start zone to justify it, but a Viceron AoE just poof attack be pretty nuts.
I believe the sound was boof.
Oh, yep, sorry. That's my bad. The boof attack.
Wow.
Holy cow.
0 for 8, Superfrog. 1 for 11, Superfrog. Way to go, buddy.
That's the kind of stats I like to see out of those Cathar.
That's right.
I mean, I
8
feel a
plus
little
unit.
bad, but also I don't, because I don't like Cathar, if I'm being honest. I do like watching games with them, like, you know, for reals, but I do like to see them fail. So
That's one cool plug I'm going to point out for Online Heroscape. If there's anyone that's watching that has never played Online Heroscape, I mean, there's so many cool units that are so hard to get a hold of, like the Cathar, that I would never play if I wasn't in the online scene. And so go play online, go learn all the figures of Heroscape, and just figure out what's cool.
yeah, and if you're wondering how to do that, there is a how to play online Heroscape video that came out today. So
Heyo.
you can also check that out. This is a small side clip. So yeah, lots of swings, lots of misses. Holy cow. Those were also all blocked. I mean, I guess they weren't blanked like Superfrogs were, so that it feels a little bit better, but still no wounds happening there. Just trying to finish off Pell.
Yeah, I get it, because he's only got 1 life left.
Yeah.
So all you need is a roll like that, where you get 2 out of 2, and then he's
Yep.
gone. Yeah, nice play.
Especially because now with Pell gone, once these other attacks start going through, then he's got unengaged Cathar again, who can roll for braced spear.
Oof.
But
Big swing.
yeah. So now a nice thing for the Dreadguls is they're like axe grinders in that if they don't bond, if they choose not to bond, or if they don't have anybody to bond with, they do get +1 attack for that turn. So now these guys are going to start hitting hard.
Yeah, they're tough. I think the advantage is significantly in the Dreadgul's favor at this point, because they've got 1 squad of Cathar left, and 2 and 3 squads of Dreadguls left. Visceron can do some nasty things. Rychean's solid, so it's still close, but
How gross
with
is it that it's still close?
I mean, it's just unfortunate that the brace spears haven't fallen. You know, in the games that I played with the Cathar, you know, it's a feast or famine. When they're popping, it's popping, and you win the game significantly. And then if it's not, you lose.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, like, you know, again, like, you know, Vegies Dad has done well. He's taken out 2 squads. But also, that's 150 points to, I don't know, let's see, he's lost 2 squads of Dreadgul is guilty. Also, like 200 something points.
Yeah,
And that's
true.
without Brace Spears happening, too.
Yeah, so it's been pretty gross, as you said.
It's yucky. But yeah, we do hit that critical point, though, and especially where the Dreadguls are going to be having 4 attack against these guys. Once 1 or even 2 of them fall, then things start looking a lot better for the Dreadguls.
Yeah.
But with rolls like that,
they're being very effective right now.
Yep.
Holy cow, that's a squad wipe right there. Now watch out for lava field damage. I didn't feel it was necessary to leave his Cathar on the lava field. I think he could have taken a step down and been just fine. But
Yeah, because that guy was right there, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I probably would have done that.
but hey, as True would say in this moment, risk it for the biscuit.
I got biscuited. So
Oh,
there's the
he got
first braced spear of the
speared.
game.
What a game changer.
Yeah, for reals though. I mean, I was thinking with that guy, just come back up to this spot, risk the braced spear just to kill that guy and take him down below a squad. But I mean, that was a braced spear in the face. But another 19 rolled for the charge.
Hey, does he engage both of them? What?
I
No.
don't think you do both, but I do. I think this is a good. I think that's a worthwhile spot.
Oh, my
gosh.
goodness. That guy is clutch.
And so, yep, that is the frustration of playing against the Cathar Spearmen with melee.
Okay.
Is you just lose. Not only do you lose a figure, you also lose an attack that turn because that's a figure you activate. Okay, but hey, kill went that way. So,
man, that was
lowest squad.
I had to hold my breath on that last brave spear roll. That was something. Yeah, wow, that alone really significantly impacted the game right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Visceron and Rygarn can clean up now and just
Only.
that was a quick turnaround.
I know, right? It's crazy.
Doesn't matter if you have 4 attack if you can't get that attack off before getting speared in the head.
Exactly. Alright, so, interesting order markers. Rygarn, Viceron, Cathar. Makes sense to not be putting as many on Cathar because there are now only 2 and they're hiding back here. So Rygarn taking shots at these guys. Oh yeah, by the way, Rygarn also has 6 range, 4 attack. So, pretty good figure.
He's no slouch.
And he'll be able to ping these guys on their way in pretty handily.
And another that might change up the strategy for Superfrog.
Yeah. Before.
How do you feel about grabbing Wannick? Is it as important right now, or is it like meh? For Vegies Dad.
For Vegies, for Vegies Dad, or yeah. No, because I think you need that Dreadgul on the front line. I mean, I think it's about time that he starts thinking. Not quite yet, but you just got to start thinking about taking this guy off. Because I mean, if you only have 3 on the front line, they get killed really easily, and then the one on Wannock just gets shot by Rygarn anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
You're basically just giving him a kill there. And I mean, and then another part of the problem right now, coming into this end game, is Viceron, who doesn't get talked about a lot because he's not a super popular figure. He's a good figure, just not a popular figure. But he does have the power to heal when he destroys a figure with his normal attack. And so and he's got 5 attack, 5 defense, I think 4 life. So that's such a bad situation for the Dreadguls to try to play into in an end game.
But I mean, a couple good rolls could wipe him out with their 4 attacks. So
let's see it. Let's see it
happen. I think that's the way to win the game right now. Not gonna work that way.
Yeah, a few more. Okay, that's pretty good. It's blank. It's close. Okay, hold on.
No good. Oh boy, splash attack time. Here it comes.
I don't know. Do you splash attack? You're gonna hit all of your own figures as well.
Oh, it's everyone, huh?
Yeah. It's
okay.
2 range. It is pretty cool to see how much of the board it affects.
Leave engagement. Never mind. You'd have to leave 2 engagements and then face another braced spear. That wouldn't be worth it. Because if you went to that high spot, you'd have to leave engagement twice and then take a braced spear. Oh, he's moving Cathar.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. So that those order marker shenanigans from Rygarn. Actually, I'll take a turn with my Cathar, which is really nice. If you get rushed.
Oh
Yikes!
boy.
Yikes!
Yeah.
Yikes! Yikes! Yikes!
Wow. That's pretty much game.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like even with good rolls here, even if he starts killing Cathar, Rygarn, what have you, Superfox just got more figures. Viceron's gonna be without some extremely good luck. Viceron's just gonna be too much to take care of, I think.
Granted, he's about to get 3 attacks on Viceron, so that's good. And that's the next order marker, we can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
so
Rygarn
if he
has already
takes
been
him down,
used.
yeah, if he takes him down, wins the initiative switch. Oh boy.
There is hope.
Wow.
One
Okay.
wound.
Oh boy.
3. Yikes,
Oh.
man. That defense. 5
Good
defense is crazy.
good stats are good.
Yeah, they are.
I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm actually not. I'm slouching horribly.
I actually am on the edge of my seat, but it's so that I can be closer to my microphone. But
Oh, I see.
also because of this game. All right, so final attack from Viceron kills a Dreadgul, heals a wound,
Oh, just a
and
normal attack. Huh?
that is the game. So basically, time was called right now. So that is the game.
That is a good game.
So yeah, good game. I liked it. I don't like Cathar a huge amount, but I did like it. It was a good game. I think putting Pell Hill here would have just changed so much for the flow of the game as far as like Superfrog's ability to attack goes. And he's still getting 3v4s from down here, but
Yeah, I think that would have changed the game. I think that just that key spot in the map, you choose where
mhm.
Pell goes because Pell was neutered in this game. He
Yeah,
was locked up at all times, just wasn't very effective, and I think he could have directed how Pell changed the game had he moved him. But granted, he's a weird figure. You're like, okay, 2 attacks with guilty from high is good. So I get the thought process. It makes sense. But
mhm.
I think Pell being used as a spear shield for the Dreadguls is way more important than getting 2 attacks of 3 against guys with 4 defense.
Right. And especially because if he's here, then you're getting more than you're getting extra attacks of 3 in the long run,
Yeah, absolutely.
which is going to be huge. And especially, I mean, and also, I mean, like we didn't talk about the end game. I mean, like this whole time we were pretty much focused on the Cathar, but like you also really need to just like do really, really well against them in order to survive the end game against the Rygarn Viceron combo, because that's a crazy pair of figures to try to fight against in the end game. And if you
Agreed.
haven't like at least gone point for point against the Cathar, if not, done better, then it's gonna be, even with squads, that's gonna be a hard end game to win.
Absolutely. I think it's interesting. I think you just hit it on the nail. You have to go point for point because it's easy for me to be like, "Oh yeah, 4 we've taken out, 12 figures," but
Mm-hmm.
those 12 figures have taken out 2 heroes and, 9 figures of my squad. So it's like the trade-off just wasn't equivalent even though the number of figures looked equivalent. When you lose Pell, it's way more expensive than losing a couple spears. So
Yeah.
Pell didn't get his points. Guilty gets his points all the time, so that was good. And then the Dreadguls did what they could, but those clutch brace spears were just so killer. That was
Oh
2 in a
yeah.
row. That was awesome.
Yeah. Right there in the end, that was. I mean, that just just like nailed in the coffin. I mean, like, no brace spears all game, but you get those two, and it's. I mean, I think a lot of the time it's not like the like no what you're rolling so much as when you're rolling it. If that makes sense, that can really
Absolutely.
determine how a game flows. Because I mean, no brace spears for the whole game, and Superfrog was probably not super jazzed about it, but he was more or less fine. And then just getting those two right there to just crush any hope that Vegies Dad had right there.
Yeah, serious. It was awesome. I like the Cathar because I'm trying to think of a viable melee figure that doesn't bond, and there just isn't one. Um, all the top tier melee units are bonding melee units,
Oh
and so
yeah.
the Cathar are a not bonding unit that are a force of their own, and I think that's really cool. Um, I think they're a problem for a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
but they're I think it's really cool that you can have unique army builds. Like I've never seen Visceron with Cathar. I think it's a cool thing. I've never seen Rygarn with Cathar. I think it's a cool thing. But when you're with knights, you have your archetype for knights armies. When you're with Romans, you have your archetype for Romans armies. When you're with Death Chasers, you have your archetype for Death Chaser armies. But when you're with Cathar, it's kind of a blank canvas. You can pick a bunch of squads of Cathar and know they're going to kick butt, and then fill it out with whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. They're kind of like just like 10th to me again. So I'm kind of that's again me being cynical, but also since Cathar are 75 points and they are anti melee, I'm like, you just made 10th again. They just have a little bit less range, but they're still the same thing. Like still the same builds are good. They're soldiers. They work with Marcus, etc. But yeah, I mean, like, no, that is a good point. I wouldn't quite classify Cathar as just a melee squad though, because I mean they really are they really are just a ranged squad, because their ability to get an extra attack die with reach is that you don't play them like you would a melee squad.
Right, absolutely.
But they're kind of like in that middle area though still, which is a cool concept. Again, I like to see Cathar lose. I'll just put it that way. Um, but they are cool. There is interplay. Um, Mostly I don't like them, especially when like at lower level, more casual arenas,
Yeah.
especially.
Mhm.
In a cheese meta, for example, like they did where I lost the majority of my games for that. But I do think they get more interesting at a cheese level because there are more counterplays there. Um,
Yeah.
Although the problem is that they do just shut out any of the fringe melee armies, just get completely shut down, and you just don't want to bring them to a Cathar. And I think even some of the strong ones like orcs and stuff get shredded by Cathar. So that's a sad day. But
This was an interesting battle, and here's my thoughts on it.
mhm,
The the Dreadguls are all about, especially when the D20 is popping, are all about rush in, kill what you can, die, rush in, kill what you can, die.
mhm,
And there wasn't a lot of slow rolling. You saw even in the end game, he had most of his army still in his start zone, but he was still putting in work. The Cathar are okay with that. Like they're okay with you just coming to them.
mhm,
That's like what they preferred. The whole battle was on the lower right quadrant of the board, and that just I think that provided immense opportunity for the Cathar to just hang out and poke things and do what they do, because they were able to reinforce their armies faster. I think that really played a factor in this game.
mhm.
Kind of interesting dynamic between the two armies.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think because I mean I don't think it was wrong at all to rush in with the Dreadguls when he was getting charges, because that's just exactly what you need to do. Um, but yeah, just like you said, it's both armies playing to their strengths, really, which isn't something you always get to see in a game, because usually
Absolutely.
yeah, usually one's cutting off the other somehow or other. But I mean, it was nice, like they both got to live their lives, be happy, except for the ones who died. But
Exactly.
yeah, it was a good game. I really enjoyed this one. And so this was just like to give you like a peek into the bigger picture of things. This was the semifinals game, and so next up we'll have the finals game, which will be really, really cool. Superfrog does go into the finals against Tiamat, who's not semifinal game, but an earlier game we saw from him as well. And yeah, so that'll be a really cool game. It'll be coming up soon-ish. I'm not sure exactly when, but it is like the closest game I've ever seen, so it's really cool.
I'm excited. Thanks for having me here, Bigga.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you were able to make it, and thank you for coming over. Do you have anything you'd like to say to the viewers? Anything you'd like to share before we sign off?
I'll give the typical YouTube plug. Like and subscribe to 10 Points Under.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Yeah. I mean, like, you can do that if you want. I won't. I definitely won't stop anybody from doing that. But yeah. Thanks again for joining me, and thank you, viewers, for viewing and doing your due diligence that way, I guess. But yeah, always a good time. Keep an eye out for more stuff to come. Also, the usual plugs. There's tons of links in the description below. Tons of stuff that came from Online Con. There's a Twitch channel where you can watch finals games. There are battle report threads where you can read players' perspectives while they were playing the game. Just lots of cool resources that you can check out. So make sure you do so. And with all of that out of the way, this will be 10 points under and out. Okay, and we're recording, and I am remembering that I forgot to think of a tagline. So this is 10 points under, where something about Cathar. Cathar the worst. Okay, we're good.